in Vail, Colorado, and he was running Vail Resorts. He said to me one day, I've got to figure out something else because I do love Vail, but I need to do my own thing. I'm in the corporation enough. Corporations have taken me so far. I'd like to do my own thing. I was very nervous, and I said, you sure you want to take a chance? He said, you know what? I think we need to look in the south, somewhere warm, because the snow is great, but we need to be by the beach. So I said, okay, let's look around the south, because we started our career in Hilton Head Island, fell in love with the beach there. And Stacy had gone to college in Charleston, and we said, let's go look at Charleston, because it's such a great city. And that's where we ended up. We loved it. I was mainly thinking, because we're in Charleston, I was pushing for seafood. Everybody comes to Charleston. You come from Ohio, Wisconsin, Midwesterners, Chicago people, they go, I want seafood. Bill said, you know what? A steakhouse is the way to go.
When Tommy Hall had been trained by Del Frisco's and by Lone Star Steak Corporation, he knew the steak business forward and backwards, and his training and his development professionally was in steakhouses.
Dale Wanstead, AKA Del Frisco, he's the ultimate steakhouse man. My dad and him were cut from the same cloth, and it was about that handshake, that consistency, that quality, that warmth, and I think that drive to always get better and better and better.
It was very scary. We always counted on that corporate check. Every 2 weeks, I was like, okay, this is the exact amount of money I'm going to have every 2 weeks to spend. So luckily, Bill had been very good about saving, and he had good communications with a lot of banks, which in 2008 was not real good.
To look at the year that it started, it was probably the worst financial time. Nobody was lending money. Everybody was extremely cautious. Restaurants were almost a dying breed, right? They were closing, and my dad said to us as a family, the best things happen at the worst time.
It was actually an arts and craft building.
When they told me the address, I was like, oh, that's where I would buy art supplies for college classes.
When he walked in, he said, you know what, I can do a lot. I don't have to tear up an old kitchen. I don't have to redo something that's old and part of a steakhouse that wasn't what I wanted to do. Let's just be able to have our own imagination, which is what he did.
We opened March 16th, 2009 as a restaurant. And it's the early days, it was just my mom, my dad, and myself. And we're working our butts off to get this restaurant open. And the first day of open casting call for bartenders, line cooks, busboys, everything, we have 500 applicants. And it's my mother, my father, and myself. And the line is around the block. We were so overwhelmed. So I remember I picked up a phone and called my brother Billy. I said, Billy, he's out in Northern California at the time, in San Francisco. I said, man, it's crazy. We have 500 applicants. I'm worried about mom and dad and myself. It's very overwhelming. He says, I'll be there Monday. He quit his job. He left what he's doing. He drove cross country to be here in Charleston, South Carolina to help us open up.
I always used to work in sports, but I just wanted to join my brother, my mom, my dad. Everything my dad's ever done in this business has been successful, and I knew no matter what, he's going to work his ass off, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Before we opened the doors, our chef had rented a small little apartment, and he made sure they had a great stove. So we started cooking for about 3 weeks. We just did different dishes. We wanted to make sure we had some good Southern dishes and mac and cheese and our creamed corn. We had fried okra. We have those Southern dishes that people love. But our chef worked for 3 weeks on different dishes. We'd say, no, we don't really like that, but we like these mushrooms better. So we just kind of went through all of them. My husband kind of knew what steaks, maybe didn't see the size of him. He was a big guy that loved steaks. And he had spent a lot of time with Allen Brothers. The owners of Allen Brothers were very good friends of his from Ritz-Carlton days. So he always knew what steaks he wanted and made sure our chef knew how to cook them. We actually started out with 17 people the first night. And I think that was including all the family. So it was a little scary in the beginning. But as we went along, we all worked, so we really didn't notice that big. All of a sudden, it seemed like this place was just jumping. I mean, I'll cry because it's so exciting to see. people coming in the front door and just happy to be here. I loved every second of it. So my husband, fortunately, I was able to work with him every day. And with the boys too. It was so much fun to be as a family working together.
You're only as good as your last steak dinner that goes out on the table. And so we just try to make it, I think every day, have that back against the wall mentality. You know, people book here now reservations months and months out. And so I was here last night and, you know, a guest booked in February. You know, I don't know what I'm doing on Wednesday. You know, so these people are planning 5 to 6 months out, coming to Charleston, going to a Hall's Chophouse for dinner. And so we gotta make it special for them.
We gotta set the tempo every day, and we're not just throwing the party on the weekends. Dad always taught us that. It's Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. That's when we separate ourselves. A lot of places you go to are really quiet on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, but Monday night's a Friday night for us. And we always treat it that way. Dad said if we had one person in the restaurant or 500, we gotta act like, you know, they're the number one guest, and that 499th guest is also the number one guest, like they're the only ones there. Somebody that came in the other night said they were here in 2013, they came back in 2021 and we were better. That means a lot to me, because a lot of restaurants, I think, get happy or get satisfied or let up, and we continue to try to get better, and that's what Dad always taught us. You know, that was Dad's biggest thing. We continue to get better every day. He could have been sitting back.
But he wanted to be here.
Yeah.
This was his happy place. Because everybody can say it was a great experience, but when they come back, night after night after night, it's amazing. We have guests come in 5, 6, 7 nights a week, whether it's a drink, dinner, appetizer, maybe dessert, or maybe to hear the music, or to come see the bartenders, or come see us. Yeah, that's the greatest compliment.
If you're from out of town and you've never been to Charleston before, the reason that you would want to come and have dinner at Hall's Chophouse. The food's outstanding. I think the bartenders are great, but obviously I'm not an objective source on that. But more than anything, you should come in and you should just see all of it work together and watch this symphony that we put on every night that Mr. Hall and Tommy and Billy and Mrs. Hall have made possible for us to do for people when they come in. Because it's a special place and it's a special experience. And if you've never seen it before, it's Ringling Brothers, it's Cirque du Soleil, it's that duck on the pond who looks calm up top and his feet are going crazy underneath. It's all of that rolled into one, and we pull it off every night.
I hear people all over the country that come in to Hall's Chophouse, and when they call me, they're in the wine business or liquor business, and they're like, this is one of the greatest restaurants I've ever experienced.
Well, walking through the menu, you know, I think a Hall's dinner is, you know, some beautiful oysters on the half shell, our oyster Rockefeller, world renowned, and you have to have our chopped salad. It's one of our signature dishes. And then our great steaks, as what we're known for from Allen Brothers, for our wet aged, dry aged beef. And we also have some different things you won't find at other steakhouses, like a filet of bison with mushroom risottos and a little truffle butter on top. And steaks are very important, but I think the sides are what separate you from the other steakhouses. And our cream corn is our #1 seller. Our Brussels sprouts, our large baked potato, our loaded mashed potatoes. It's just unique and fun. And you'll see guests eat half their steak and they'll work on the sides. And they'll take the steak home, but they're gonna have the sides where they're hot come out of that kitchen. That's a dinner at Hall's Chophouse. And then you gotta finish off with our famous whiskey bread pudding.
Absolutely. Caramel cake or the chocolate cake.
Yeah, that's a good night. We're so blessed the success we're having, and you know, but it wasn't like this all the time. Early on, we're working hard to build the restaurant, and you know, there'll be days we do 30 people or 50 people. And, we're so blessed now. We'll have 400 or 500 people a night come to our dining room. And but I remember the first couple of years we'd be just packed, and the bar would be jamming. They'd be 5 or 6 deep, and they'd be hanging from the chandeliers. And you know, and Dad and Mom would see our other restaurants and maybe walk back up the halls, and I'd be so proud. I'd be like, oh my God, Dad's gonna be so excited that we're gonna make payroll this month. We'll pay our taxes, and Dad walk in and go, Tommy, come over here. Light bulb above table 31. What's wrong? Where's the light bulb? You know. But that push. That was Dad's constant. He always wanted to make it better. and never rest on the laurels. Hey, the place is packed, enjoy. No, hey, make sure those light bulbs are shining bright.
I'm most proud of our family, because it's not easy, as people know, to work with your family every single day. People come in the door and they go, wow, you all are still here together as a family? I said, yes, thank you, we are, and we love every day. And I love coming in because I never know, I might not see them during the day, but at night, I know I'm going to be able to be together with them. So I'm very proud that we did it together as a family.
Service before self.
That's what it's all about.
Okay, you guys are done.
Cut.
Thank you.